Namaskar. Welcome to our special program, Prime Minister Modi in Namibia, India's expanding Africa outreach. I'm Tanvi Taneja and with me is Mark Lynn. Namaskar. Prime Minister Modi and President Nandi Ndaitwah concluded delegation-level talks earlier today, and the two countries signed 4 MOUs covering fields of disaster resilience, biofuels, entrepreneurship development, health and medicine. The Prime Minister also received the Order of the Most Ancient Well-Wisher Mirabilis, Namibia's civilian award, a little while back.
In fact, it's the highest civilian award, and Prime Minister Modi is in Namibia on the concluding leg of a 5-nation tour. Prime Minister Modi is also scheduled to address a joint session of the Namibian Parliament, which is a key moment in India-Namibia diplomatic relations. Namibia is keen, in fact, to engage with India in agriculture and pharmaceutical sectors.
Yes, India has important stakes in the African continent as a whole, where it hopes to deepen ties of trade, development, security and energy cooperation. We'll discuss all that over the course of next few hours. Let's get started with the Namibia chapter in India's expanding Africa outreach.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Windhoek on a state visit to Namibia. He was given a grand ceremonial welcome at the State House. The Prime Minister received a 21-gun salute during the ceremonial welcome.
So later, Prime Minister Modi signed the visitors' book in Windhoek, marking a significant moment in India-Namibia camaraderie. He was warmly welcomed by Namibian officials and exchanged cordial handshakes with President Nandi Ndaitwah, symbolizing the strong bilateral ties between the two countries.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi held high-level, delegation-level talks, that is, with the Namibian President, Dr. Nandi Ndaitwah in Windhoek, focusing on deepening India-Namibia ties. Now, the discussions covered cooperation in energy, health, education and digital technology with the aim of strengthening bilateral partnerships. In her address, President Ndaitwah, she praised the strong India-Namibia relationship, emphasizing the potential of both countries to expand trade and investment cooperation. And she highlighted key areas of collaboration, including green hydrogen, mining and value addition, oil and gas, infrastructure development, food security and tourism.
Her remarks were followed by Prime Minister Modi's address, in which he underscored cooperation in civil, nuclear and petroleum sectors. He affirmed that both countries are committed to further promoting trade and investment.
Well, following the talks, India and Namibia signed 4 agreements on strengthening bilateral ties. These include the Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure Framework Agreement, which is aimed at enhancing infrastructure resilience.
The Global Biofuels Alliance Framework Agreement to promote sustainable energy.
A Memorandum of Understanding, that's an MOU, on establishing an Entrepreneurship Development Center to foster innovation.
And an agreement on cooperation in health and medicine to advance healthcare collaboration.
These pacts underscore the shared commitment of India and Namibia to sustainable development as well as mutual growth.
And as part of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's engagements of the day, he laid a wreath at the Heroes Acre in Windhoek, Namibia on Wednesday to pay homage to Namibia's founding father, Dr. Sam Nujoma, during his state visit. This gesture underscored India's long-standing support for Namibia's independence movement, with India being one of the first countries to support Namibia's freedom in 1946. So Heroes Acre is the National War Memorial of Namibia. In fact, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been awarded Namibia's highest award, the Order of the Most Ancient Welwisher Mirabilis. The Order of the Most Ancient Welwisher Mirabilis is the highest civilian award of Namibia. The award was established in 1995, shortly after Namibia gained independence in 1990, to recognize distinguished service and leadership. Named after the Welwisher Mirabilis, a unique and ancient desert plant endemic to Namibia, the order symbolizes resilience, longevity, and the enduring spirit of the Namibian people.
In fact, this makes it the 27th award for Prime Minister Modi and the 4th award on this very trip, the ongoing tour. So this award, in fact, was presented by the Namibian President, Dr. Nandi Ndaitwah, who hailed Prime Minister Modi's contributions to global peace, justice, and also socio-economic development.
Most Asian order of Welwisher Mirabilis to Honorable Mr. Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of the Republic of India, who has significantly contributed to socio-economic development and the promotion of peace and justice in Namibia and globally.
On the occasion, Prime Minister Modi expressed his gratitude for the honour, stating that it was a matter of great pride and honour to be bestowed with the Welwisher Mirabilis.
Excellency, Rashtrapati ji, Uprashtrapati ji, प्रधानमंत्री जी, नामीबिया के माननीय मंत्रीगण, उपस्थित गणमान्य सभी महानुभाव, राष्ट्रपति जी द्वारा नामीबिया के सर्वोच्च राष्ट्रीय अवार्ड the Order of the Most Ancient Welwisher Mirabilis से सम्मानित किया जाना मेरे लिए अत्यंत गर्व और सम्मान की बात है। मैं राष्ट्रपति जी का, नामीबिया की सरकार और नामीबिया के लोगों का हृदय से आभार प्रकट करता हूं। मैं इस सम्मान को 140 करोड़ भारतीयों की ओर से विनम्रता के साथ स्वीकार करता हूं। फ्रेंड्स, नामीबिया का वेलविचिया, जिसके नाम पर इस अवार्ड का नाम रखा गया है, यह कोई साधारण पौधा नहीं है। यह घर के एल्डर्स की तरह हैं, जिन्होंने समय को करवट लेते देखा है। यह नामीबिया के लोगों के संघर्ष, साहस और संस्कृति का प्रतीक है। यह भारत और नामीबिया की अविचल दोस्ती का साक्षी है और आज इससे जुड़कर मैं बहुत गौरवान्वित महसूस कर रहा हूं। मैं इस सम्मान को नामीबिया और भारत के लोगों को उनकी निरंतर प्रगति और विकास को और हमारी अटूट मित्रता को समर्पित करता हूं। फ्रेंड्स, एक सच्चे मित्र की पहचान कठिन समय में ही होती है। भारत और नामीबिया अपने स्वतंत्रता संग्राम के समय से एक दूसरे के साथ खड़े रहे हैं। हमारी मित्रता राजनीति से नहीं, बल्कि संघर्ष, सहयोग और आपसी विश्वास से जन्मी है। साझा लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों और उज्जवल भविष्य के साझा सपनों ने इसे सींचा है। भविष्य में भी हम एक दूसरे का हाथ थामे विकास पथ पर साथ साथ आगे बढ़ते रहेंगे। फ्रेंड्स, नामीबिया विश्व के सबसे बड़े डायमंड प्रोड्यूसर्स में से है और भारत सबसे बड़ी डायमंड पॉलिशिंग इंडस्ट्री, वह भी मेरे होम स्टेट गुजरात में। मुझे विश्वास है कि आने वाले समय में हमारी साझेदारी भी इन्हीं हीरों की तरह जगमगाती रहेगी। तो आइए हम सब मिलकर राष्ट्रपति जी की लंबी आयु और उत्तम स्वास्थ्य के लिए, नामीबिया के लोगों के सुख और समृद्धि के लिए, भारत और नामीबिया की अमिट मित्रता के लिए शुभकामनाएं व्यक्त करें। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
So that was Prime Minister Narendra Modi thanking the people of Namibia for the highest honor bestowed upon him. And very quickly, let's go to the presser coming in from Windhoek, Namibia, of the Ministry of External Affairs.
Honorable President of Namibia, Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah. As you all know, that Honorable Prime Minister's last leg of his five-nation tour is ending here today in Namibia. On his arrival, he was warmly welcomed by the ministers, and there was also traditional dance. Thereafter, Honorable Prime Minister was welcomed by the Indian community at the hotel, and the formal program thereafter included Guard of Honor at the State House. There were a ceremonial welcome. He had one-on-one discussion with the President of Namibia, delegation level talks. and he also paid homage to the founding father of Namibia, Dr. Sam Nuomo, and Honorable Prime Minister was awarded the highest national award of Namibia, the Order of the Most Ancient Welwitschia Mirabilis. And there was a banquet in honor of Honorable Prime Minister, and later today he will be addressing the Parliament. Friends, as you all know, that this visit assumes importance in more than one ways. This is the visit taking place after 27 years by Prime Minister of India, and is also the time when the President of Namibia has just assumed her office in March this year after a landslide victory, which means that there will be continuity in our relationship and it will facilitate further deepening of relationship. The delegation level talks covered a wide gamut of issues, and both sides had the opportunity to also expand the existing cooperation. The bilateral relationship, as you know, underpinned by trade and economic interest, investments on both sides. The trade is about $600 million in favor of India, marginally, and investments from India are about $800 million. And the cooperation that was discussed was in the area of natural resources, because as you know that Namibia is endowed with rich natural resources like diamonds, lithium, copper, cobalt, graphite. All of these rich critical minerals are useful for our industry. The cooperation in the area of health was discussed, which also included the possibility of Jan Aushadhi being introduced in Namibia. Also supply of medicines and direct sourcing from India. The cooperation in the area of agriculture was another area that came up, item that came up in the discussions, and there again, as Namibia has huge land tracts, there's a possibility of India supporting with equipment, machinery, and able to grow food crops for the food security of Namibia. Defense cooperation, another area that came up for discussion, and most importantly, in the digital public infrastructure. Here again, Namibia is the first country in the world where NPCI, National Payment Corporation of India, and the Namibian Central Bank have entered into an agreement for licensing agreement to deployment of the UPI in Namibia for real-time payments. And this is a significant development. We believe that this will open up new avenues for cooperation in the digital space between our two countries. Capacity building is another area. It's an ongoing. ITEC scholarship have been extensively used from Namibian experts, both defense and civilian. And here again, we have both sides discussed to expand this possibility of enhancing the cooperation in the capacity building. There were few announcements today in terms of the agreements. The memorandum of understandings were one relating to setting up of entrepreneurship center in Namibia, and the second is cooperation in the health. And there were three announcements made, one relating to the UPI, your Unified Payment Interface. Second one is Namibia joining the Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, and Namibia also joining the Global Biofuel Alliance. These are very significant for bilateral cooperation, and we believe that the visit of Honorable Prime Minister will provide further impetus to our relationship. Both sides also touched upon the multilateral issues. There was condemnation of terrorism in all its manifestations, including the Pahalgam terrorist attack, where Namibia expressed solidarity for India. And there was also talk about reforming of the multilateral institutions, and there was a clear understanding by both the leaders that it's very important that multilateralism is strengthened for the South-South cooperation, and both sides to be able to find solutions for the challenges that the countries in the global South are facing. So there was a deep understanding on how India and Namibia can partner in this area. I will pause here, and if there are any questions that you might have, I'll take. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. With that, we open the floor for questions. Please.
सर, नामीबिया और भारत का पर्यावरण साझेदारी।
Introduce yourself.
सर, मैं निशांत राय, डीडी न्यूज से। नामीबिया और भारत की पर्यावरण साझेदारी की लंबे समय से रही है, क्या इस बार इसको लेकर कोई चर्चा हुई है?
ठीक है। You have a question there, please.
I'm Aparna Khund. I am from All India Radio. My question is the entry of Namibia into CDRI and Global Biofuel Alliance. How does it help India at global level, especially when India is a leader in sustainability and the energy commitments? How does it help India?
Okay. We have any questions from this side? Please.
You mentioned that Namibia will be forming part of the Coalition for Disaster Risk Management. How will that benefit Namibia, and which elements of disaster risk management are being looked at particularly?
Okay. CDRI, sir.
Yeah.
So you can take these questions.
जी, आपने ये सवाल उठाया कि एनवायरनमेंट के बारे में हम दोनों देश के क्या पार्टनरशिप होगी। आप जानते हैं 22 में इंडिया और नामीबिया की पार्टनरशिप की वजह से हम चीता रिलोकेट किया। अभी उसका सेकंड फेज का बात चल रहा है, लेकिन ये तो सक्सेसफुल पार्टनरशिप है दोनों को देश के बीच में, और उसको बढ़ाना पड़ेगा। और एक्सपर्ट्स के बीच में अभी चर्चा चल रहा है, तो देखना पड़ेगा कि कहाँ तक हम इसको सेकंड फेज में ले आ सकते हैं। On the question of CDRI and Global Biofuel Alliance, how it will help India, as you know that these are the narratives of the Global South, and these are very important cooperation that will emerge out of this. Particularly in the case of CDRI is countries affected by these natural disasters, either it is floods or drought or even pandemics, how both countries can cooperate. I think in recent times India has been very active in reaching out to our partner countries in providing these relief materials, but that's a part. We should be able to also look at early warning systems and how quickly both countries can respond to natural crises that may arise in this part of the world. Because you also know the climate change is affecting our nations very, very differently, and most countries in the global south are vulnerable because of the climate change. So we have to cooperate even stronger on this. In the same light, I see the Global Biofuel Alliance as well, because alternatives to the oil, gas has to be found. And this is a very good initiative India has successfully introduced, which is able to also save your own hard currency that countries would need to import. But this technology India has now very well experimented and successfully using in our country. And in the global south, through this Biofuel Alliance, we'll be able to reach out to them and introduce these technologies. I will take this moment to also request if Indian ambassador can add, because he would know the crux of the bilateral relationship. You, Rahul?
Sir, in general, with the Prime Minister's visit, one of the highlights is that we are taking our relations to a higher strategic level, and by that I mean that defense or critical minerals are some of the areas that were discussed. In defense, Namibia is interested in procurement of equipment from India, and we offered them a line of credit, especially for the defense. We have one for civil also. On the environment, because we had Project Cheetah we got cheetahs from Namibia, it's important that they also become members of IBCA, the International Big Cat Alliance, and today that was also discussed. Namibia has assured that soon they would want to become members of that. There are a couple of more points which Prime Minister also mentioned. It is during the rainy season here, which is towards the end of the year and beginning of January, February, the situation of malaria was quite bad in Namibia. So they had requested help from us for malarial medicines. And after the Prime Minister's visit, we'll be soon delivering malarial medicines and also malarial diagnostic kits to Namibia. And there are a few more points in defense. For example, Namibia will be donating some equipment. One is a simulator for their training schools, as also some infrastructure, IT equipment to their training schools. In Namibia, one more thing we are interested in is taking on some big infrastructure projects. We do have a couple of them, but the big ones, yes, we would be interested, and we have offered this to the Namibians.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the close of this session. Thank you very much for your presence.
Well, we were listening to the Ministry of External Affairs give us the outcomes of Prime Minister's visit to Namibia, and to dwell more on those and the visit in general, and to unpack the details for us and help us to understand it much better, we have with us Ambassador Baswati Mukherjee, former senior diplomat, and we also have Samir Bhattacharya, who is an associate fellow at the Observer Research Foundation. Thank you very much for being with us. Ambassador Mukherjee, if I could start with you now. India has always supported, anti-apartheid movements. Also, this whole idea that the independence struggle, in a sense, of Namibia for a very long time. But this stance of India for so many years, how does that actually help in terms of the long-term diplomatic efforts that India hopes to achieve with this visit?
Mark, when PM was in front of that iconic statue of Sam Nomo, of the role that India played. I was in PMI New York at that time, of supporting the anti-apartheid struggle in Namibia, of personally supporting the fighters, especially Sam Nomo, and putting all our diplomatic weight at a time when we were not so economically strong behind the independence of these countries that were under the apartheid yoke.
Right.
So the fact that 27 years have passed since an Indian Prime Minister has come is amazing. We should make it a regular feature. And clearly from the visit of PM and the way he was received, the 21-gun salute, the highest civilian honor, the warmth, it all demonstrates that Namibia has not forgotten the role of India and India's government and leadership, and Prime Minister Modi's personal charisma and leadership in bringing the African Union into the G20 and his leadership of the Global South. So, quite apart from the bilateral aspects that were so amply covered by my colleague Damu Ravi, Secretary ER, who explained along with the ambassador the different aspects of the bilateral relationship, the point here is that Namibia is an important country in this part of Africa. India is a very important partner along with South Africa and provides leadership to this region. Its struggle against apartheid is legendary, and the they have been exploited is something that one needs to see in the National Museum. I've been to Namibia twice. So this is an amazing. I'm so glad that we are giving anti-malarial medicines, etc. During the COVID pandemic, we had given vaccines, even though we didn't have enough for our own people. So I think that whatever help and cooperation in Kenya for medicine is very important because they do have some epidemics which come out in the rainy season, and I think it's totally appropriate for us to help as much as we can.
Okay. Samir Bhattacharya, coming to you now as we discuss India-Namibia ties. It is worth noting that India championed the cause for the independence of Namibia in 1946 at the United Nations General Assembly. So could you add a little bit more about the multifaceted and deep-rooted historical ties between India and Namibia?
Sure. See, Namibia is located in the southern part of Africa, and it was very, like the way South Africa was controlled by apartheid government, it was also controlled by apartheid government. And in some way, India, even before the independence of Namibia, Indian government started supporting them. And in some way, it is a very new country. It started its mission in India. It was just back in 1994. But immediately after when Atal Bihari Vajpayee became the Prime Minister, he visited the country and showing the importance that we give to this country. After that, in 2016, our President Pranab Mukherjee also visited, and now so it's more like three official high-level visits in 3 decades. So it shows the importance that we give to Namibia, and different facets of the partnership that we had, the different MOUs that we have signed. This also shows how various and how need-based this partnership is. So, for example, healthcare. You saw how this President Trump removed in USA from the World Health Alliance, and he is cutting the aid in USA. Now, Africa is the continent which bears 20% disease burden in the world. This continent, Namibia, for example, whether it was Ghana, he was in Ghana before, now in Namibia. These are the countries which will bear inadvertent cost of this US decision. So India's support for this medical, be it whether it's training the doctors through E-Vidya Bharati or giving medicines. These are the efforts that actually they need. Then also we have signed a deal on CDRI. CDRI is the India when a few years back when the cyclone Idai hit Mozambique, India was the first country to respond. India has always been one of the first countries to respond in this area. So now with this MOU and CDRI, this will also ease partnerships. So what I am trying to say is India's partnerships, the partnerships that India has done, the MOUs that we have signed, these MOUs are very not very showy or flashy things, but it's more like things that will impact the local people, at the last mile. So in that way, India is it shows that we are different. Our development model, our partnership model is different. It is something. The question was asked to Ambassador Damu Raviji also, that how India, the joining of Global Biofuel Alliance will help India. It will not only help India, it will also help Namibia. So it is more like a South-South cooperation. It is more like a global South solidarity. And I think this visit, all the deals that have been signed, it reflects this global South solidarity.
Yes, indeed. Ambassador Bhashpati, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while thanking the government of Namibia for the highest national civilian order bestowed upon him, he said that Namibia is a global diamond hub, and in fact in India's Gujarat is also a diamond processing hub, and of course Indians in Namibia are helping Namibians in the diamond polishing sector. So would you like to add something more about Indian diaspora's contribution in Namibia?
Absolutely. There are amazing diamonds which emanate from Namibia and which are polished in India, Gujarat. We also have Gujarati diaspora in Belgium and Netherlands, where I was ambassador, which also do some diamond polishing in places and for the sector, and then they are sent to India. So there are several places where Indians are polishing diamonds. Under apartheid, diamonds were under sanctions because they used to be called stones of blood because of the fact that it was an apartheid regime. The moment apartheid was abolished and the diamond business became free, this was one of the earliest connects between Namibia and India and between South Africa and India. I cannot overemphasize the importance of this industry, which is of vital mutual importance to both countries. In addition, I would like to add, like my colleague has just said, that the other arrangements that we are bringing for Namibia are mutually beneficial. In fact, some are more beneficial for Namibia, like the Biofuel Alliance, for instance, or for instance, the kind of cooperation that we are going to give them with regard to developing their energy resources, including their non-conventional energy resources, which we have now developed great expertise. And these kind of places, Tanvi, they have large places where you can develop the sugar cane necessary to get your biofuels, to get all the renewables which to get renewables you need extra space. Namibia has with South Africa. This again is something that we are looking at for 50 and 60. But more than anything else, a very important demonstration of how popular our Prime Minister is in the global south and with our African brothers and sisters. The welcome that Namibians have given and earlier in Ghana is unprecedented. This is the kind of welcome they give to their own people. They have embraced India and Prime Minister Modi as their own, and there is no greater compliment that an African can show on an Indian than the kind of welcome that our Prime Minister was given. I have never seen any in my entire diplomatic career.
Indeed. Mr. Bhattacharya, the line of credit for defense that has been offered, now what areas would you think that Namibia would be keen on in terms of India's defense equipments, given their own threat perception in the area and their own theatre, and I mean perhaps one would think that the naval aspect is more important and India's expertise too seems to stand out there.
Sure. So, first of all, India has been trying to promote its defense industry, the made in India, that we want to be not only self-reliant, but we want to export our defense equipments. And this has been the case with many other countries in Africa. So this is similar now, similar in Namibia. But now looking at Namibia, Namibia is a relatively peaceful country in a way that it does not have really any terrorism threat the way it is in its northern neighbor, Mozambique, where you have in Cabo Delgado, there is a lot of insurgency movements, etc. going on. You move up in Kenya and Tanzania, in those bordering areas, you have Al-Shabaab. In the other, Namibia is in the other coast, and it's in the Atlantic coast, and it is relatively peaceful. I think that yet the country requires different type of equipment. First of all, they will definitely not need equipments like BrahMos or those high-range missiles. They will definitely need things like for some small civil or some insurgencies that happens, local insurgencies, some separatist groups, and also, as you rightly said, the maritime aspect. So it is in the Atlantic coast, and from there, whenever there is a trouble in the other side, in the Suez Canal side, be it whether with Somalian pirates or whether it is with Houthis, then there is always a probability that goods will travel via Cape of Good Hope and through this Namibian coast. So definitely they need some security, and compared to the other side, this coastline is relatively free. Like you see in Djibouti or in Somalia, there are a lot of countries which are jostling for space. In Namibia or in that part, it's relatively free. So they are already, this is a good thing. This is obviously a good thing. They are self-reliant, but they need that support. And I think India not only provide equipments, but more importantly, I think India will need to give them training. So for example, the India-Africa maritime exercise, or this kind of, like Ibsamar, this kind of exercise. I think Mozambique, very recently India started something called India-Mozambique-Tanzania maritime exercise. Probably India will start something with Namibia, and definitely ITAC and through other programs, many defense personnel are every year coming to India for their training. So I think training is also a very important part that will be part of the defense agreement.
Okay. Mr. Bhattacharya, very significantly, there is a decision to cooperate in the field of digital public infrastructure in which India is a major innovator. So, India's National Payment Corporation of India and Namibian Central Bank have agreed to deploy UPI for real-time payments in Namibia. Tell us the importance of this agreement and its practical applications in Namibia.
Definitely. See, Africa is one of the large, Africa is the most youthful continent in the world. So the population in Namibia, for example, it's still now the inequality is high, but still there are a lot of white population who are still living there. The population is quite educated, so there is a need for this digital public infrastructure. You know, the population in Namibia, it's a very odd, strange geography, as where in one part of Namibia, the capital, it's almost 50% of the people live just in the capital. So to reach out to these rural people, those who are away, and physical infrastructure in Namibia, unfortunately, is very bad. So they want to take benefit of the digital infrastructure technology that we have. This has been ongoing in Ghana, in all the other global south countries that India have visited, that they want India support, be it digital identity market, to create digital identity for the digital payment, but most importantly, digital inclusion. That is where physically connecting those people is impossible. We have done it. Our India is such a big country with such a vast population, and in different parts of the country, it's difficult to reach. Yet we have, our banking population, we have banked them. So these are the things which impresses this country. So Namibia wants to take benefit of India's experience, and they want to, but well, it will, how successful it will be, it will really depend on their own infrastructure also, because as far as I know, Namibia's infrastructure in the village, you need the electricity, you need the digital internet connection. I am not sure whether Namibia 60%, more than 60% of the people are not, just 60% probably connected with the internet. So with this infrastructure, digital connectivity, it's still a long way to go, but I think the government is taking initiative, the Namibian government is taking initiative, and probably India is going to help Namibia in regarding internet expansion as well.
Indeed, when we look at one of the areas where there was some agreement on land tracts and how they could be developed with Indian help into, to be suitable for agriculture and help in food security. They have lots of land. To what extent, can this be expedited, given let's say the importance of food security, and also from the point of view of climate and the impact that it has on the world and especially on the agricultural sector. There is also, I want to link that with the CDRI, which the journalist from Namibia asked Secretary Economic Relations that how is it going to help them?
Yeah, so developing this land tract, it's definitely a win-win situation. Namibia, as I said, it's a very strange geography. It's an arid country with a desert, which is instead of in other countries, after the sea you have sea beach. In Namibia, you have after the sea you have a sand. You have the desert, and the whole country, there are a lot of space, which is true. But to develop that space, it's very difficult. India has that experience. India has done that, particularly in our, if you see the Deccan Plateau, the southern part in Hyderabad, in many parts of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, we have done that, where semi-arid region were developed as a agriculturally productive region. So Namibia wants to benefit from that, and as far as
okay, there seems to be some problem, Sameer Bhattacharya ji, with your audio. We'll try and connect with you in a little while. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Namibia on the final leg of his 5-nation tour. India's development partnership with Namibia, it's not just about trade and diplomacy. It's about a lot of other facets as well. Of course, India has helped Namibia in capacity building. There is a center of excellence, skills and knowledge at the University of Namibia in Windhoek, and it has been set up with Indian support. It is equipping young Namibians with the tools of the digital age. A report.
Capacity building play a crucial role when it comes to ties between two countries. I'm here in Namibia, in front of India-Namibia Center for Excellence in the field of information and technology. This center is established with the assistance by the Government of India, where hundreds of students have already been trained in the field of IT, and many of them are already enrolled to learn new skills, to burnish their skills, and to fulfill the vision of Namibian government of e-governance and digital empowerment.
This center offers training in areas like software development, cybersecurity, and web design, all aimed at giving Namibian youth a competitive edge in the technology-driven world.
All these programs were set up with the assistance of the Indian government through SIDEC, because we basically implemented our programs in collaboration with SIDEC in Pune.
This is a very good collaboration with the Indian government to assist the Namibian government with ICT education.
The center is not just about building skills, it also creates opportunities for students from all walks of life to access quality IT training. It's part of India's focus on development that indirectly benefits people on the ground.
This center, we call it as India-Namibia Center of Excellence in Information Technology, which is established at Namibia University of Science and Technology under the bilateral agreement between Government of India and Government of Namibia. The main aim of this center is capacity building in Namibia, and also to boost the research capacity in Namibia. So using these capacity sector, we offer a few programs here. Many of the students, like I would say 500 plus students have been trained, and those are basically working professionals. We are assisting ministries and the government offices. They used to come here and upskill their knowledge.
How do you see the future of the center as more and more students they enroll in the center to learn in the field of IT?
I would say very, very important contribution from Government of India, as well as, in assisting the Government of Namibia to build the capacity in Namibia. So definitely center will fly, and we will work and assist as much as possible.
So we got to know that the India-Namibia Center of Excellence in Information Technology is not just a center. It's a vision where Namibians, youths and working professionals are being trained to work in the field of IT and also to burnish their skills, and which exactly is the demand of the future. With camera person Alok, this is Siddharth Bhardwaj reporting for TD India in Namibia.
Well, economic ties between India and Namibia continue to grow steadily, and Siddharth, in fact, is going to take us inside a diamond processing unit run by an Indian company that's training and employing Namibians on the ground. Let's look at his report.
I'm at Ankit Gems here in Namibia, the oldest factory of diamond cutting and polishing set up by an Indian. And just ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit, this facility is a clear example of how Indian investment is adding value locally and also strengthening the economic ties between the two countries.
Ankit Gems brought a game-changing model to Namibia's diamond sector. Process locally, employ locally. Today, hundreds of Namibians work here, many trained in high-precision diamond cutting. The Indian company's presence supports Namibia's long-standing vision, retain more value from its natural resources, and provide long-term employment to its citizens.
We are very happy here polishing diamonds, so it's been a really good experience. I've been working as an export and import operator. Then now I'm doing traceability, so that every stone that anybody from outside buys, they are able to trace it on our traceability and see from rough to finished polishing.
We are employed 130 people Namibian, and we are teaching them and then employed, because there is no institute for diamond and anything, and we are looking forward better from government as well.
Namibia is among the world's top producers of gem-quality diamonds. India, meanwhile, is the global hub for cutting and polishing. Together, the two countries are creating a win-win partnership where Namibia moves up the value chain and India contributes through technology, training and trust.
As Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to visit Namibia, ventures like Ankit Gems reflect a deeper story of growing India-Namibia partnership, which is creating jobs, generating employment and
Okay, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is addressing the Namibian Parliament shortly, and we will take you live to those visuals. They are expected in some time from now. Let me go back to Samir Bhattacharya, Associate Fellow, Observer Research Foundation. Mr. Samir, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been bestowed with the highest honor of Namibia, and of course he'll be addressing the Namibian Parliament in a short while from now. What does this say about of course, Prime Minister Modi's growing international stature and, of course, the nature and direction of India-Namibia ties?
So I think PM Modi has made it a habit of getting this highest civilian award wherever he is going these days. It shows the popularity and the amount of respect he gets from the world leaders. But it also shows the importance, the rise of India in the global scene. The way it also the country is giving the honor to Narendra Modi, means this country, it is also giving the honor to India. So I think now what he is going to address we are about to hear, but I think some of the things that he must address is he should the landmark speech that he gave in 2018 in Uganda Parliament, where he actually enunciated India's 10-point Africa policy. So that was the time when India had the India outreach was very active, but then Prime Minister Modi in his first 10 years, he has visited more than 30 African countries. Modi and the foreign minister, including the foreign minister, there were more than 30 high-level visits. But lately, there is no India-Africa Forum Summit. So somehow it started feeling like probably Africa is losing its due importance. But now, after this visit, now that he is going to 5 countries, he is doing 5-country visit, and out of that 5, he is visiting 2 African countries in 2 different parts of the continent. It shows that in Africa is not forgotten. Africa is very, very important part of our foreign policy. And what I really want to hear from him is if there is a new vision or new plans that we are trying, whether it is going to be a bilateral or regional or continental level. What are our vision for Africa? I think we would really want to hear that from him.
And Mr. Bhattacharya, to what would you expect in terms of the future of the relationship, which probably Prime Minister will talk about? But, most promising sectors, we already are looking at mining, we look at energy, but what do you think, are the potential from, let's say, more people-to-people ties? What's the future of this relationship?
Yeah, I think what we did in Ghana, there was an MOU on cultural cooperation. Then he went to Trinidad and Tobago. The president of Trinidad and Tobago, she came to the airport to receive our Prime Minister in sari. And even in Namibia, we just saw that in the diamond factory there were so many Indians who were working so side by side, and probably some like in Nigeria, after the federal government, India is the second largest employment generator. Probably it's not the same case in Namibia, but in Namibia also there is Indian investment. So I think all the sectors that we have discussed, the critical minerals, whether it's India's Africa outreach in general, it has always been dominated by capacity building. So capacity building, we have heard the announcement, new scholarships on iTech or in other technological aspects, whether it be digital or health sector. We spoke about agricultural cooperation, that is definitely.
Okay, request you, Samir Bhattacharya ji, to hold your thought and be with us as we go live now to the Namibian Parliament, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is about to address a joint session.
Between Namibia and India. This is the first time in 27 years that the Prime Minister of India addresses our Parliament, a milestone that rekindles the memory of your predecessor's visit in 1998 and marks a new era of closer cooperation between our two nations. Your Excellency, honorable members, India's support to Namibia during our struggle for liberation is deeply etched in our national memory. India was amongst the first countries to extend formal diplomatic recognition to SWAPO and hosted our liberation leaders during the fight for our freedom. The bonds formed in those formative years of Namibia's nationhood laid the foundation for the vibrant, multi-dimensional partnership we enjoy today. Today, India and Namibia share common values of democracy, sovereignty, non-alignment, and South-South cooperation, and the belief that development must be people-centered and sustainable. These principles continue to guide our engagements across multiple sectors, including in trade, health, education, defense, energy, and digital transformation. Your Excellency, honorable members, at the heart of our democracies lies the institution of Parliament. This is the arena where voices of the people shape national progress and governance. As elected representatives, we carry a duty not only to our constituents, but also to foster solidarity with fellow legislatures around the world. In this regard, parliament-to-parliament cooperation between Namibia and India is of great importance, as it enhances mutual learning and the exchange of best legislative practices from committee structures to citizen engagement, while promoting collaboration on global development priorities such as poverty eradication, gender equality, and climate action. It also builds capacity within parliamentary institutions through staff exchanges, digital transformation initiatives, and the sharing of legislative resources, and contributes to stronger people-to-people connections through youth exchanges, educational, and the promotion of cultural understanding. Furthermore, through active participation in global fora such as the Inter-Parliamentary Union and the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association, our legislatures have a vital role to play in advancing common positions on issues such as United Nations Security Council reform, climate justice, and equitable global governance. Namibia continues to call for the democratization of international institutions to ensure that the voices of the Global South are meaningfully heard. Let us take this occasion to commit ourselves to institutionalizing interparliamentary dialogue between Namibia and India through formal cooperation frameworks, exchange visits, and technical partnerships that bring lasting value to both our people. Your Excellency, honorable members, as our two nations continue to deepen cooperation in critical areas, Namibia is proud to be a partner in India's development initiatives across Africa, and we welcome the support we have received in health, particularly in pharmaceutical supplies, education through scholarships, and capacity building programs through the Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation (ITEC) framework. Namibia is also closely following India's strides in renewable energy, digital infrastructure, and agricultural innovation, critical sectors where we believe there is vast potential for further cooperation. We look forward to transforming our engagements into tangible joint ventures that benefit our citizens and advance our development priorities under Vision 2030 and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. As we navigate a world challenged by conflict, climate change, food insecurity, and rising inequality, we must stand together to advance the aspirations of developing nations, championing a rules-based international order that is inclusive, equitable, and responsive to the developmental needs of all nations. In this context, Namibia views India not only as a trusted friend, but also as a strategic partner and a moral force on the global stage. Your voice, Your Excellency, resonates with the hopes and dreams of many across the global South. Your Excellency, honorable members, this special session is more than a ceremonial moment. It is a statement of intent, a declaration that Namibia and India are committed to deepening our friendship, expanding our cooperation, and elevating our shared global voice. Prime Minister Modi, your visit today reignites the flame of solidarity between our nations and brings new energy to our partnership. We are deeply honored to receive you in this house of the people of Namibia. On behalf of all members of Parliament and the people of Namibia, I welcome you, Your Excellency, to our democratic institution and invite you to share your vision and reflections with us. Let us together build a partnership that not only honors our shared past, but boldly shapes a future of dignity, equality, and prosperity for all. I now have the honor to invite His Excellency Shri Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of the Republic of India, to address this special session of Parliament.
Honorable Madam Speaker, Right Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Deputy Speaker, esteemed members of Parliament, my dear brothers and sisters, Omba Uhala Ponawa. Good afternoon. It is a great privilege to address this august house, a temple of democracy. I thank you for giving me this honor. I stand before you as a representative of the mother of democracy. And I bring with me warm greetings from 1.4 billion people of India. Please allow me to begin with congratulating each and every one of you. People have given you the mandate to serve this great nation. In politics, as you know, that is both an honor and a great responsibility. I wish you success in fulfilling the aspirations of your people. Friends, a few months ago, you celebrated a historic moment. Namibia elected its first women president. We understand and share your pride and joy because in India, we also proudly say, Madam President. ये भारत का संविधान है जिसके कारण एक गरीब आदिवासी परिवार की बेटी आज दुनिया के सबसे बड़े लोकतंत्र की राष्ट्रपति है। ये संविधान की ही ताकत है जिसके कारण मुझ जैसे गरीब परिवार में जन्मे व्यक्ति को लगातार तीसरी बार प्रधानमंत्री बनने का अवसर मिला है। जिसके पास कुछ भी नहीं है उसके पास संविधान की गारंटी है। It is the power of India's constitution that a daughter from a poor tribal family is today the President of India. It is this very constitution that gave someone like me the chance to become Prime Minister. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. When you have nothing, the Constitution gives you everything. Distinguished members, as I stand in this august house, I pay tribute to the first president and founding father of Namibia, President Sam Nujoma, who passed away earlier this year. He once said, and I quote, "Our achievements of independence imposes upon us a heavy responsibility not only to defend our hard-won liberty, but also to set ourselves higher standards of equality, justice, and opportunity for all. Without regard to race, creed, or color," I unquote. His vision of a just and free nation continue to inspire us all. We also honor the memories of the heroes of your freedom struggle, Hoshia Kutako, Hendrik Witbooi, Mandubai Yanade Mufayo, and many others. The people of India stood proudly with Namibia during your liberation struggle. Even before our own independence, India raised the issue of Southwest Africa at the United Nations. We supported SWAPO in your quest for freedom. In fact, New Delhi hosted their first ever diplomatic office abroad. And it was an Indian, Lieutenant General Diwan Premchand, who led the UN peacekeeping force in Namibia. India is proud to have stood with you, not just in words, but in action. As the well-known Namibian poet Mulvayan Nongola wrote, and I quote, "When freedom comes home to our country, we will proudly erect the finest monument in memory." Unquote. Today, this very Parliament and this free and proud Namibia are living monuments. Distinguished members, India and Namibia have much in common. We both fought colonial rule. We both value dignity and freedom. Our Constitution guides us to uphold equality, liberty, and justice. We are part of the global South, and our people share the same hopes and dreams. Today, I am deeply honored to receive Namibia's highest civilian award as a symbol of the friendship between our peoples. Like the tough and elegant plants of Namibia, our friendship has stood the test of time. It quietly thrives in even the most dry of seasons. And just like your national Welwitschia mirabilis, it only grows stronger with age and time. On behalf of 1.4 billion people of India, I once again thank the President the government, and the people of Namibia for this honor. Friends, India attaches great importance to its historic relation with Namibia. We not only value our ties from the past, but we are also focused on realizing the potential of our shared future. We see great value in working together on Namibia's Vision 2030 and the Harambee Prosperity Plan. And at the heart of our partnership are our people. Over 1,700 Namibians have benefited from scholarships and capacity building programs in India. We are excited to support the next generation of Namibian scientists, doctors, and leaders. The Center of Excellence in IT, the India wing at the JADS campus of the University of Namibia, and training in defense and security. Each one of them reflects our shared belief that capacity is the best currency. Speaking of currency, we are thrilled that Namibia is the first country to adopt India's UPI, Unified Payment Interface technology. Soon, people will be able to send money faster than one can say Tangi Unene. Soon, a Himba, grandmother in Kunene, or a shopkeeper in Katutura will be able to go digital with just a tap faster than a springbok. Our bilateral trade has crossed $800 million. But like on the cricket field, we are just warming up. We will score faster and score more. We are honored to support Namibia's youth through the new Entrepreneurship Development Center. It will be a place where business dreams can get mentorship, funding, and friends too. Health is another pillar of our shared priority. India's health insurance scheme, Ayushman Bharat, covers nearly 500 million people. But India's concern for health is not limited to Indians alone. India's mission, One Earth, One Health, views health as a shared global responsibility. During the pandemic, we stood with Africa, providing vaccines and medicines, even when many others refused to share. Our Arogya Maitri initiative supports Africa with hospitals, equipment, medicines, and training. India is ready to supply Namibia with a Bhabha-tron radiotherapy machine for advanced cancer care. This machine, developed in India, had been deployed in 15 countries and has helped nearly 500,000 patients in different countries with critical cancer care. We also invite Namibia to join the Jan Aushadhi program for access to affordable and quality medicines. Under this program, cost of medicines in India has been brought down by 50 to 80%. It is helping more than 1 million Indians daily. And so far, it has helped patients save nearly $4.5 billion in healthcare costs. Friends, India and Namibia have a powerful story of cooperation, conservation, and compassion. When you help us in reintroducing cheetahs in our country, we are deeply grateful for your gift. I had the privilege of releasing them into the Kuno National Park. They have sent a message for you. Inima Aishe Oili Nawa. Everything is fine. They are happy and have adapted well in their new home. They have grown in numbers as well. Clearly, they are enjoying their time in India. Friends, we are working together through initiatives like the International Solar Alliance and Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. Today, Namibia has joined the Global Biofuel Alliance and the International Big Cat Alliance. As we look to the future, let us be guided by Namibia's national bird, the African fish eagle. Known for its sharp vision and majestic flight, it teaches us to soar together, scan the horizon and boldly reach out for opportunities. Friends, in 2018, I had laid out 10 principles of our engagements with Africa. Today, I reaffirm India's full commitment to them. They are based on respect, equality, and mutual benefit. We seek not to compete, but to cooperate. Our goal is to build together, not to take, but to grow together. Our development partnership in Africa is worth over $12 billion. But its real value is in shared growth and shared purpose. We continue to build local skills, create local jobs, and support local innovation. We believe that Africa must not be just a source of raw materials. Africa must lead in value creation and sustainable growth. That is why we fully support Africa's Agenda 2063 for industrialization. We are ready to expand our cooperation in defense and security. India values Africa's role in world affairs. We championed Africa's voice during our G20 presidency, and we proudly welcome the African Union as a permanent member of the G20. Friends, भारत आज अपने विकास के साथ ही दुनिया के सपनों को भी दिशा दे रहा है, और इसमें भी हमारा जोर ग्लोबल साउथ पर है. In the 20th century, India's independence lit a spark, one that inspired freedom movements across the world, including here in Africa. In the 21st century, India's development lights a path showing that the global south can rise, lead, and shape its own future. The message is, you can succeed on your own terms without losing your identity. यह भारत का संदेश है कि आप अपने रास्ते पर चलकर अपनी संस्कृति और गरिमा के साथ सफलता पा सकते हैं. For this message to echo louder, we must act together. Let us create a future defined not by power, but by partnership. Not by dominance, but by dialogue. Not by exclusion, but by equity. This will be the spirit of our shared vision. From freedom to future, स्वतंत्रता से समृद्धि, संकल्प से सिद्धि, from the spark of independence to the light of shared progress. Let us walk this path together. As two nations forged in the fires of freedom, let us now dream and build a future of dignity, equality, and opportunity. Not just for our people, but for all of humanity. Let us move forward as partners for peace, progress, and prosperity. Let our children not only inherit the freedom we fought for, but the future we will build together. As I stand here today, I am full of hope. The best days of India-Namibia relations are ahead of us. Friends, I conclude by wishing Namibia great success in co-hosting the 2027 Cricket World Cup. And if your Eagles need any cricket tips, you know whom to call. Thank you once again for this honor. Tangi Unene.
तो बेहद ऐतिहासिक संबोधन प्रधानमंत्री
So yes, that was a very impactful address Prime Minister Modi gave to the Namibian Parliament. A standing ovation was received. Thereafter, he interacted with several members of the Namibian Parliament, many of them women members. In fact, he hailed Namibia for electing its first woman president in Nandi Nandutwa, drawing a parallel with India. He said that India too has elected its first woman president from a tribal community in Draupadi Murmu. All in all, he gave a shared vision for shared growth and future of the global South nations. He mentioned that Africa should not be only a destination or source of raw materials, but it should be a developing fertile ground for charting development, sustainable development for the whole of world to see.
Indeed, and he highlighted healthcare cooperation. He talked about cooperation, compassion and conservation, about the development partnership and how the $12 billion was not really just $12 billion. It is shared growth for prosperity of all or both countries. And he talked about value creation and sustainable growth, which is what India's motto is. He highlighted support for several plans of Namibia, the 2030 plan as well as the Harambee Prosperity Plan and their vision for 2063 industrial growth, and highlighting that India in the 20th century, the freedom struggle of India was an example for the rest of the world. Here, the 21st century, India's growth model could well be an example for the global South.
Indeed, and there was a loud cheer when he said that the world should move forward not by power but by partnership, not by dominance but by dialogue. On that note, we wind up our special broadcast of Prime Minister Modi's final tour of Namibia. Thereafter, we will, the Namibian leg of his five-nation tour now is wrapping up, so we will get you the highlights of our of Prime Minister's marathon five-nation visit in our subsequent bulletins. For now, it's a wrap. Thank you for being with us. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Yeah, 90